Sahana Vavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavaditamastu, Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And we'll share the screen here. And today is February 25th in Asia. February is almost over. And the first topic, we are continuing with the four padas of Saiva Siddhanta, the updated version for Natal Tamil Vedic Society, Durban, South Africa. Four padas: Charya, Kanda, Kriya, worship, yoga, meditation, and jnana, enlightenment. We're up to the Yoga Pada. Yoga Pada focuses on the regular practice of meditation, detachment, and austerities under the guidance of a Satguru, through whose grace we attain the realization of Parashiva, the highest and transcendent aspect of Shiva. Charya Yoga consists of cleaning the area of the shrine room where one meditates, keeping it pure, and collecting all things needed for worshipping one's guru and deities. Charya component of yoga has two general guidelines for conduct. Rishi Tirumular gives the first in verse 1464 of his Tirumandaram, saying that Charya in yoga deprives the seeker of desires, awakening profound dispassion. As you've heard me say before, dispassion. A dispassionate yogi holds the perspective that happiness does not come from outside, from people or possessions, but from the depths of one's soul. So that's the true meaning of dispassion. Second general guideline is the idea of maintaining equanimity, which is defined as mental calmness, composure, and evenness of temper, especially in a difficult situation. Sarva Jnanottara Agama Yogapada, verse 4, gives this description. Keeping the mind balanced well when honored or abused, and in the same way when delighted or distressed, and having completely freed himself from being subject to excessive delight, fear, and despondency, the sadhaka should repeatedly practice the disciplines of yoga. Equanimity. Kriya in yoga consists of offering prayers, mantras, or a puja to one's guru and his lineage after beseeching the grace of the deities. So pretty short. But we're basically asking for grace. And the first question, what are the practices of yoga in yoga? Where do they start? Yoga in yoga consists of asana, proper meditation posture, pranayama, regulated breathing, pratyahara, sense withdrawal, dharana, concentration, dhyana, meditation. Dhyana leads to savakalpa samadhi, the experience of satchit ananda, and ultimately to the experience of nirvikalpa samadhi, the realization of Parashiva. Yoga in yoga Yoga and yoga begins with assuming a proper meditation posture, regulating the breath, followed by sense withdrawal, leading over time to deeper and deeper meditative states. Verse 1444 of the True Mantra mentions one such state, which is the experience of inner light. Beholding the light of life is great yoga worship. So this is a very common goal in a number of scriptures. The yogi is supposed to experience inner light. So this is uyirkoli, the Tamil word. Light of life. First one was uyirkuyir, being the life of life. Splendorous jnana worship. This is beholding the light of life. It's great yoga worship. Shivayana Siddhya, scripture we don't normally quote, but it has a great verse. In Sakamarga, which means Yogapada, one has to control his senses, stop his breath, fix his mind, explore the secrets of the 6 adharas, and know their gods. Passing beyond into the regions of the bright Chandra Mandala, one has to drink deeply of the Amrita. Filling his every pore, and dwell fixedly on the supreme lights. If one performs this yoga of 8 kinds, his sins will fall away and he will attain the form of God himself. Beautiful verse. In the Yogapada, what is the darshan of the deity? What aspect of the deity does someone in the Yogapada experience? For the yogi who meditates, darshan of the deity is not just a transmission from an external God. It is a bright light that emanates from the innermost chamber of his Sarasvara chakra. The yogi's worship becomes totally internal as he follows that light, that darshan, seeking to discover its origin. Jnana in yoga is the maturity of soul gained by years of following these advanced practices. Changes and transformations of character and perception that naturally take place in the depths of the soul. And we get our summary. Yogapada is also called the Sakamarga, meaning way of the friend. For here the soul looks upon God as an intimate comrade. The Patavi attainment of this pada is sarupya, likeness to God. So experiencing inner light is one form of sarupya, same form. So God's form is inner light, so you are taking on, part of your form has become inner light, not the whole thing, of course. And we have Sundaramurti Nayanar. Sundara for short is the Samyacharya, exemplifies the Yogapada. And an important question, what is the ultimate goal of the Yogapada in Gurudeva's teachings? Gurudeva taught that in the Yogapada, the yogi works hard with a passion and strength he never knew he had, with a commitment he once thought unattainable, and as he works, his willpower is activated, and one day he reaches the essence of being in his first Nirvikalpa Samadhi, the experience of Parashiva. So that's the goal. Gurudeva explained that when the yogi comes back from this indescribable fulfillment, he brings new insight and perspective into his life. He is transformed by that experience. He can never see life in the same way again. The maturation that takes place in the Yogapada, or Raja Yoga, includes stabilizing awareness in the Anahata chakra, This is done with the grace of Lord Murugan. To quote Gurudeva's explanation, it's the helping hand of Lord Murugan that reaches down from the Anahata chakra, grabbing and lifting the devotee up. Gurudeva describes the yoga in the Yogapada as follows. The yogi who is in the process of yoga, who has not graduated to God realization, is not yet a yoni. Though he has all kinds of realizations along the way, some sustained, others yet to be sustained. The yogi is seeking, striving, changing, unfolding, trying with all his heart to become, to know his ultimate goal. When the merger has become complete, when two have become one, he is no longer a yogi, he is a yoni. When a student graduates from college, he is no longer a student, he is a graduate. The merger of which I speak is parashiva, to be experienced by the sannyasin who is turned from the world and into himself. That's our topic 1. Second topic. Continuing, cultivating 9 key spiritual qualities in children. We're up to the 6th quality. Pious character, they all begin with P. Pious character is evident when we naturally treat others with kindness, generosity, and appreciation. It is fulfilled when we seek the blessings of God, gods, and Guru throughout life. How can this be cultivated in children? And that's the question for you to answer. How do we cultivate pious character in children? It is through the parents demonstrating these qualities themselves. It's always the case. Example is the best teacher. Children learn that this behavior is expected of them by observing their parents' actions. Piety is cultivated by referring often to the 10 observances, Niyamas, of Hinduism's code of conduct, pointing out their relevance in daily life, on TV and in movies. So TV and movies are generally thought of as entertainment, but when it comes to children, if you choose the right movies, you can use them as lessons in what to do and what not to do. Gives you something to talk about. And listing the niyamas, we have them all memorized by this point. But you can see they're in 2 groups, really. Remorse, contentment, and giving don't relate to worship. And then the rest of them relate to worship. Pious character is nurtured, excuse me. Pious character is nurtured by teaching the child to worship and pray in the home shrine, or at the temple before important events such as beginning a new school year or before final examinations. Pious conduct brings into our children's lives the joys of divine blessings. Gurudev outlined the ideal. Hindu children are always treated with great respect and awe, for one does not always know who they are. They may be incarnations of a grandmother, grandfather, aunt, or uncle. Dearly beloved mother, sister, brother, respected father, a yogi, a rishi returned to flesh to help mankind spiritually. We must ask, who are these souls? What is their destiny in this life? How can I help? And our third topic is an interesting one. Question sent into satsang@hindu.org. The question is interesting. What is a mudra and how is it used by Hindu priests? So I have a new resource, Google Gemini. I tried out Google Gemini. generative AI language program. There's also ChatGPT and Microsoft's, now they call it Copilot. So I thought I'd try the third one, Google Gemini. And it gave a great answer. A mudra, meaning seal or gesture in Sanskrit, is a symbolic hand and finger position used in various cultural and spiritual practices, particularly in Hinduism, Jainism, and Buddhism. Excellent answer. So, symbolic hand and finger position. It's also used in dance, of course. It has a meaning. The hand or the fingers, the position they're in, have a special meaning. While some mudras involve the entire body, many are performed solely with the hands and fingers. Those are the ones in puja. In the context of Hindu priests, mudras play a significant role in rituals and ceremonies. Here's how they are used. Okay, this is what Gemini says. 1. Expressing spiritual concepts. Different mudras symbolize various deities, emotions, and aspects of the divine. The specific arrangement of fingers and hands conveys specific meanings and intentions to the deities being invoked. This helps priests focus their own energy and guide the energy of the ceremony. Great answer. 2. Directing prana, life force. Traditional Hindu belief considers prana to be the vital life force flowing through the body. Certain mudras are believed to direct and influence prana flow, facilitating specific outcomes like blessings, healing, or protection. So that's, of course, common mudra for blessing, and even the Hindu greeting, Anjali Mudra, falls in that category. It's directing and influencing prana flow. Gurudeva says Anjali Mudra pulls you into the Sushumna, the spiritual current, out of it in Pingala, bringing the hands together. So that's a real simple mudra. Third use of mudras, enhancing mantras. Often mudras are used in conjunction with spoken mantras. The combination of specific mudras with specific mantras amplifies the power and intention of the chanting, creating a more focused and potent offering. Now we're getting very deep. 4. Ritualistic completeness. In many Hindu rituals, specific mudras are used at defined points in the ceremony. They act as seals of completion, marking transitions between different stages and adding structure and meaning to the ritual. Number 5, communication. Some mudras function as nonverbal communication between the priest and the deity or the congregation. They convey specific prayers, offerings, or intentions, visually enriching the overall experience. Isn't that amazing? 5-point answer from Google Gemini. So my comment, the answer I had in mind before asking Google Gemini was similar to its third answer of enhancing mantras. However, I had in mind enhancing mantras and visualization. So that's something that Google Gemini didn't mention. Visualization. It's just like affirmations. When you're chanting a mantra, you're doing a mudra, you also need a visualization. So the priest is utilizing all three, mantras, mudras, and visualization. Gurudeva mentions visualization and dancing with Shiva Shloka 130. How to love the divine, when and where, with what mantras and visualizations, and at what auspicious times. All this is preserved in the Agamas. And I should have waited for the slide to read that. So those are some thoughts there, and basically in summary, the most important point is it's all three. You have the mantra, the mudra, and the visualization. And having the mudra as part of that process helps it be more powerful. Fourth topic, we get to hear from Yoga Swami, words of our master. As there is one soul in a man's body which makes it walk and eat and sleep, so all movements in the world are simply the play of the Lord. What does that mean to you? So, a couple of different answers are possible. Here's one approach. God Shiva's constant point of view is seeing all movements in the world as simply the play of himself. In other words, the life is what moves you, one life force. The body, the mind, the emotions, they're all moving because of the soul, the energy of the soul. So likewise, from God Shiva's point of view, everything is moving because of his energy. And that's a perspective that you can hold. You can shift to God Shiva's perspective. Instead of looking at the world, you're looking at yourself. And seeing everything that's in motion as you in motion. Oh, thank you very much. Interesting combination of topics. It's like a buffet, something for everyone. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.